I'm here in Wembley at the heart of the Asian community in London. In this film, we're going to be meeting 3 individuals whose lives have been affected by the subject of organ donation. But first, I'm going to be speaking to the good people of Wembley as to what they think about the issue. First of all, are you organ donor registered?
Unfortunately, no.
No, I don't.
No.
Okay.
But I'd like to.
What's your opinion on the campaign? Would you sign up, or do you think it's
I would prefer that people should donate their organs. It would help somebody else.
Why do you think there's so much apathy?
I don't know, but I would think one reason is because we usually burn ourselves and people think it's better to do that.
I don't think they know enough about it. Plus, I don't think their GPs emphasise the fact it's really necessary for them to register for this.
If you were in need of an organ, would you take it?
Yes, I would, yeah.
Of course you would, yes.
Yes, I would.
I would as well.
And if you were in the event of your demise after you go, would you be prepared to give an organ to help somebody else?
Yes, I would like to do that, yeah.
I would, yes.
I would certainly, because if it saves life...
I'd probably just give my body to the hospital and just donate whatever's good, just take it.
During this film, we'll meet 3 individuals whose lives have been affected. Firstly, we'll meet Preeti, a young lady who's currently awaiting a double lung and heart transplant. Then we'll meet Kirit, whose wife took the brave step 10 years ago to become a live donor. And finally, we're going to meet Nimishka, a young lady whose life was devastated when her father passed away while awaiting an organ donor. Please watch the film, and at the end, we'll be asking you a very important question.
I was fit, I was healthy at school. I wasn't really, the most active of persons, but I was always I got tired very quickly. And that was obviously because of the hole in the heart, which, had gone undetected. I was muddling along fine with the hole in the heart. The hole in the heart wasn't the monster. The real beast was the pulmonary hypertension. We got married in 1994 and I had Ria in 1998. Ria came first in 98. Everything went fine with her. I stayed at home for 2 years. We had Rahi in 2002. But with Rahi, I was noticing I was getting physically tighter and tighter. It was when she was 1.5 that it started sort of manifesting this, the exhaustion sort of got more and more, and it started building up. It was only when she had a habit of falling asleep on my lap here, and I would carry her up. And it was only when I couldn't get her to the top of the stairs, or when I did get to the top of the stairs, I felt I was physically going to faint. GP thought young girl, 2 children, put it down to an iron deficiency. After a month, I decided there was still something wrong, and I went back and I said, I don't think it's the iron. I'm struggling to breathe. A Hickman line is, well, basically a line is a soft tube which is tunnelled into your neck, one at the tip of which one end is in a vein near your heart, and the other end actually protrudes from a site in your chest. And therefore, drug can be administered via pump and line straight into your bloodstream. This procedure takes about 45 minutes. And prior to that, it takes me about 15 minutes to cleanse everything. Everything's got to be sterile. Gloves on. Yeah. My tubes I tend to sort of just swab my tubes before starting. With this illness, I think you've just got to accept. If you don't accept, I think you just fall into that trap where you're just going to, destroy yourself mentally. This particular drug is a bridging drug to the transplant. And as I said, this is considered the gold standard of treatment for patients with PH. So I am on basically the best there is. So after this, it is this or the transplant.
I think people were shocked because everybody was worried, because the prognosis at that stage was that I could die within 5 years. That's we were told that, as Mina was saying, saying that's what could happen. So be prepared for that, and that's what the doctors were saying. So we as I said, explored the dialysis and the transplantation. So I went on the transplant waiting list.
I think initially it was a tremendous shock. It just knocked us completely. Just a normal, couple with 2 young kids, and suddenly we thought our life was being turned around, upside down. We were told that Kirit wouldn't see his daughters get married, more likely than not.
But when you did it, there was a very real chance that Mina could have given a kidney but not survived.
Yes.
And you would have survived as a recipient.
And the other possibility was that the transplant, having gone through all of this, may not be successful. So there's no guarantee with any transplant that it will survive or how long it might survive.
How long were you on the active list?
I think about 3 years I was on it, yes.
And so obviously a donor wasn't coming forward,
Yeah.
and your time was shortening.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, there was going to be a big operation. It was big and it was very painful at that time, definitely. In a close family unit, if one person is very ill and their lifestyle is being affected by the illness, all of your lifestyles are going to be affected. So in a way, I think it was a very selfish decision because I wanted my family life to be normal.
If there's no problem in our religion, if there's no problem in the Vedic histories, then why is it our communities in this country specifically are so slow to take up the call?
The fear factor is there, but I think more importantly is probably there are a lot of myths and misconceptions about this. And we need to challenge those and give facts and figures and so on, but also case studies, not just like ourselves, but other patients with different stories and different experiences to say, look, these things are happening here, they do work well.
But still the sign-ups were, from the Asian community specifically, was very
low. In fact, I think that the figures are just over 1% of the Asian population is on the organ donor register. Which is, and the other side of the thing
What's
is,
the demand from the Asian community?
The demand is nearly a quarter of the people who are waiting for an organ are from Asian or black communities. So you can see the challenges for us. Yeah?
I think partly it's apathy from our part, even as doctors or as patients or as society generally. We did an interesting survey about a year ago at the Bhaktivedanta Manor at the Hare Krishna Temple. We interviewed about 300 Hindu patients. We asked them, what is your opinion? Would you take an organ if you were offered an organ and you needed it? And up to 70% said yes, they'd be happy to take an organ. And then we asked, would you be happy to donate an organ? And that number was 60%. And interestingly asked, are you aware of where you can go? And the return on that was very low. But then we asked them the other questions. Do you think we need to raise awareness? And literally 88% of our community felt that the awareness about these issues needed to be raised.
I would say that the few things in life which can make a difference to somebody else's life, and being on the organ donor register and actually being a donor is one way you can give the gift of life to somebody else.